In this video, we will show you how to replace your front inside door handle on this Nissan Altima. This will be mounted to the inside of your door. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. Make sure the window is in the upright position. We'll continue on by removing our window switch from the area. To do this, use a plastic trim tool so you don't cause any damage to your plastic panel. To get this out of position, we're going to make our way in between the panel itself and the door panel. This is going to be easiest to remove if you start from the front side, so I'll be along this side of the door grab handle. Make my way in between this area and we'll gently start separating it. Now as we start lifting this up, you need to pay attention in this corner. It has a small little piton that's part of the door panel itself, and it goes into a hole that's part of this panel. So we'll start lifting it up and rolling it away. There's that circular hole I mentioned. Now with that lifted up and out of the way, we'll continue on with our wiring harnesses. For the smaller one, we have this locking tab right here. We'll just go ahead and press that in. You can use your trim tool, finger, small screwdriver, whatever you've got. Every time you remove an electrical connector, take a peek. If you see any funny colors, that's corrosion. It would need to be dealt with. We'll move along to the larger connector, once again squeezing in the center on that locking tab and separating this. Set your window switch aside. Moving up from that area, we'll continue on by removing the trap door that's behind the inside door handle. Use a small pick for this. We'll pull this out of place, give it a quick inspection, and set it aside. Behind that, there's a 10mm headed bolt. You can also use a Phillips head if needed. Making our way back down behind where that window switch was located, you're going to find another 10mm headed bolt. Let's remove that as well. This mounting screw is considerably longer than the first. Now we can start separating the door panel from the door itself. If you find you have a hard time making your way in between this area with your fingers, you could also continue on with a plastic trim tool. It's important to use plastic rather than metal because we don't want to scratch up the paint on our door itself. We'll press this in between this area and start separating it. Make our way around the door, being careful for any pinch points, of course. Now we'll start lifting this up, pulling it away from the door, and have a peek along the backside. Looking along the backside of the door panel, you'll find that you have two cables that go to the inside door handle. The removal process for each of these is the same exact thing. Take hold of the cable and gently pull it out of place. Once you've done that, we'll gently tug on it and start lifting it up and out of position. A quick inspection and we'll set that cable aside and do the exact same thing to the other. At this point, you'll find that you have one more wiring harness. Squeeze on the locking tab and disconnect it, and then set the door panel aside. Now that we have the door panel off, let's have a look at the back side. We'll be looking for the inside door handle. You'll find that you have 3 screws holding this in place. Use a Phillips head to remove them. Now that we have those screws out of the way, we're going to start pulling this off the door panel. What you will find is that you have 2 locks holding it in place, one along the top side and one along the bottom. To remove these, we'll go ahead and use a flathead screwdriver. Gently start tugging on the lock itself and pressing the door handle out of place. And there it is, friend. Okay, let's get ready to install our door handle. We'll take this, align it, and press it into position. Listen for both those locks. Continue on to all 3 of your mounting screws. Start them in, snug them up. let's get this over to the vehicle. To reinstall the door panel, we'll start with the wiring harness. Press that and listen for a click. These other two wiring harnesses will sit down inside this area. We'll pause on those, but continue on to the two cables. To install the cables, we want to make sure that they fit into their corresponding holes. The cable that has the ball at the end is the one for the handle itself, the lower one. We'll take this and slide it right into position. Once you have it in position there, we'll lock it in to this area. Press it in, listen for a click, try to tug it out of there. We want to make sure that it cannot fall out. Continue on to the lock cable. This one's got a different tip at the end. We'll take that shanked area and slide it right on through there. Swing this over and lock that in position as well. Now we can take the door panel. We're going to bring it up nice and high and bring it up and over this ridge. Once we've done so, we'll swing it down and align all of our locking push tabs. Let's start aligning this and pressing it in. Now that the door panel is secured to the door, we'll continue on with our mounting bolt down inside this area here. That is the longer of the two bolts. We'll start this in by hand and snug it up. Now we'll continue on with our window and lock switches. Take hold of those wiring harnesses and we'll start connecting those in. Listen for a click from each one of them and give them a light tug to make sure they are secured. Now we'll take this and we'll put it in position. When we're bringing it in position, we want to make sure we take this end in first and bring it over the small tab that's located in there. Once we've done that, we'll roll it down into the fully locked position. Listen for a click all the way around and make sure it's secured. Now we'll make our way up inside the inside door handle for our final mounting bolt. Start it in, snug it up. Let's put on our protective cover. Okay, friend, we fully installed our inside door handle. The last thing you want to do is test its functionality. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.